If you could only hold on. Hi holders, it's Tony and Bonita. We are here to take episode what, Tony? 10, 11, episode 11. We are so excited about that. Let's first ask Tony how he is doing. I know he looks good. He looks really good. So Tony, how are you doing today? You're good? Good. How was your day? Are you feeling good and rested? You're good and rested? Good. Okay, are you ready to get started? Guess what? We're going to wrap it up with the kids talking about you. You like to hear what they think about you, don't you? That's because they always gloating over you. All right, let's go ahead and get it started. Welcome to Holding It Together with Bonita. I am your host, Bonita. We also have our co-host,
Antoinette.
Joshua.
and then we've already said hello from Tony, our other host. We want to welcome you today. But first, before we even get started into our topic, I want to thank those who have been tuning in on YouTube, but also our podcast. As far as the listeners are concerned, those who are actually tuning in through Spotify, Facebook, Apple. We have several countries, so excited and humble. That's pretty amazing. So outside of the US, we have Canada, Africa, South Korea, and Austria. And then our locations within the US are Connecticut, West Virginia, and then of course Ohio. Not surprising for Ohio. So just want to say thank you to everyone who has been tuning in and watching. We appreciate your support. It means a great deal. So the month of June has been good. We have covered deluding yourself as a believer, as a Christian. Do we delude ourselves? Do we kind of dumb down the fact that we are Christians just for those who are within our circle or on the job? We discussed that. We talked with a beautiful couple about Father's Day, where we honored our fathers. And then also, we didn't get an opportunity to speak to and have any lengthy conversation about Juneteenth, but also want to remember Juneteenth because that matters to us. So with Juneteenth being a day that we celebrate to commemorate the end of slavery, that matters to us. So we definitely want to recognize that didn't get an opportunity to participate in any of the activities that were going around in the city, but definitely acknowledge Juneteenth. And so for this episode, let's conclude with celebrating you all's dad, your father, with Father's Day just being, was it last week? Yes, last Sunday. Let's talk about your daddy. I know you guys this all started because of Tony and talking about him as the man, the minister, the husband, the businessman. But let's talk today, let you all talk about who he is to you as a father. And I can start off with some questions.
Yeah.
Want to start off with some questions? Okay. Let's start off with some questions. So, as you think about your dad, what is your favorite thing about him?
I would say for me, like, he's a jokester. Like, at the point where you're not just my dad, like, that's from day one. My friend, that's game.
Yes.
So, from the car ride, that'll get crazy. Car rides, going to the gym, picking me up from school.
Going to
hold on.
eat.
No, you and him having car rides and leaving me out and going to eat. You guys would be like, they would come home and be like, oh yeah, we love that Popeyes over there. They're like,
what?
Who's ever eating that Popeyes? We haven't.
And then that's when they get quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you mean sneaking a lot of meals out and trying different food that me and
that happens sometimes, but that was just us.
Exactly. That was just y'all, for sure. So, anything else?
That's really it.
Okay.
My favorite thing about my dad is a lot of things.
Yeah.
I would say for me, like, one of the main things is like he's a teacher.
Yes.
And he loves to tell you what to do, tell you how to do it. But yeah, he's just
a teacher. Yeah. I agree with that.
Definitely getting knowledge.
Yeah.
How to live, stories.
Stories, some fun
Yeah.
stories.
Uh-huh.
What does he say? Life lessons.
Right.
Yes. So y'all got a lot of life lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah. You all would tell me about your life lessons as y'all would. You just couldn't take a walk without him. Right. He was the whole time.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So what? Okay. So is that? What about? Is that also include fun? Does that include what was the fun part of your dad, or is the fun part of your dad?
The jokester.
Still the jokester part. Okay.
Well, he loved to talk, so that's all he's gonna hear all day.
All day, every day. Yeah.
That's
sure.
how we can repeat what he says or mock him.
Yes. Yeah. For sure. Okay. So what was his favorite food, and what did he enjoy cooking all the time?
Definitely fish.
Fried fish.
That was like every Sunday.
Every
After
Friday.
church.
Yes.
Sometimes twice a week.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
be fried in tilapia.
Right.
What, chicken? Yeah.
Oh, so it's actually chicken for you?
Yeah, he said chicken.
Yeah. And what would you say?
What?
What was his favorite food to cook?
I was gonna say
Chicken and ribs. Because here's the thing, your
He
dad
liked
he felt like he was the coldest cook.
Yeah.
And
He still feels like, even though he hasn't cooked in it,
Right.
that he's the best.
Now I cook better than him, but like when it comes to the grilling, like I still ain't really mastered it as him.
Yeah.
True.
Your grilling is
It's still good, but
your ribs are good, but yeah, your dad, his whole soaking it and making the sauce. Like you don't make homemade sauce. Mama taught him how to make the homemade sauce. So yeah, barbecue sauce. Oh, he took that and ran with it. And then, even though she was so gracious to give him the recipe, he would not give the recipe to no one. And he's laughing about it now.
Yeah.
He would add or take away.
Right.
What
He
people did.
uses it.
Yes, he would give certain ingredients. But anyway, that's your daddy. He's funny. I would say I love your dad's, even though he's not my dad, even though he thought he was my daddy. I would say the fried fish, the fried fish, the fried chicken. We can't tell you what he's doing right now.
No.
Fried fish, I would say all those three: fried fish, fried chicken, and grilling. And what I think is so funny, even your cousins, my little ones, they're grown now, but their friends, they still talk about, I remember being at your house and your dad cooked fried fish, fried chicken.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's cool. That is cool. So what would be one of the things that you love to do with your dad?
For me, it was walking. Like, he always took me and Josh on walks, especially even more so in the summer.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, always go on walks, at least 45 minutes.
Yeah. And the reason behind that, his thought was, which was also reality, I'm gonna tire them out before they tired me out. So that was his whole thing with taking y'all swimming to the little play areas. He's like, oh, they got a lot of energy. Let me go get them out in that sun and play. So that was his thought behind that. So what about you?
For me, during the summertime as a kid,
take
us to the pool, all of that, then we'll walk afterwards, or just walk to the pool.
Right.
And of course, going to the gym.
Yeah, that was you and his favorite thing to do. Yeah, that's cool. So what has your dad done to make you all feel special? You in particular, not his kids as a whole, but just you. What has he poured into you and made you feel special?
Poured into me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know as far as like what you mean by poured into me. Some of the things like kind of made me special a little bit was just like playing football, and then every season he'll make sure I get cleats, gloves, new pads, stuff like that. Little things like that I needed.
Yeah. And
if you lost them, he would go run to Dick's Sporting and go get it.
And that's what I was about to bring up. I was gonna bring up, I don't care, this mouthpiece, I don't like it.
Yeah.
He was running out and he would buy you two.
Yes.
Let's just go ahead. I really don't know if he wants this one or that one. Oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah. He made sure whatever you needed for football, you had it. Yeah. Whatever he even thought you needed, you had it. And then all of the different leagues, he poured into that, as well as did you do a lot of football summer camps? Really, no, because you were always in rec leagues. Yeah, yeah. Okay. What about you?
Me? I don't know. I mean, my name is already Antoinette, so
Right.
I already felt special.
Exactly.
So we're named after him.
Yes, yes.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, remember he used to take you to the park, play basketball, shoot
Yes.
around.
Yeah.
When I played basketball.
And Antoinette was a shooter. Yeah.
He made her a shooter.
Yeah. And she was cold.
Shoot it.
Yeah.
That's why
Just
you're here
shoot
today.
it. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. So with your dad being the father that he's been, would you say that he's shown you what you need to be a father? Would you tweak anything? Would you do anything differently? How do you see yourself with your father's leading yourself as a father?
Well, I feel like right now, if I had to be a father, like I could.
Mm-hmm.
As far as just the principles, the values, and just how you should be as a man.
Exactly.
You know, you gotta stand on business.
Exactly.
So when it comes to working,
Right.
work ethic, I got that from him. Everything, values, respect,
Yes.
treat others how you want to be treated.
Right. Yeah.
Knowing how to communicate with other people, it's a lot. So yeah.
Because I know even though all of us are the more quieter ones, because Tony was the extrovert out there, rah, rah, rah. But even watching you, with you working at home, watching you interact with, employees and the others you had to coach, it was amazing to hear you with that professionalism. And then you had that little gift of gab, like your dad. You picked up the professionalism from your mama, but that little knowing how to just carry conversations, keep people comfortable. So it was good to see that and more or less hear it from you. So that's good. So Antoinette, what about you? What type of husband and father you would be? I mean, I know a man finds a wife. How to identify that?
I think I would. And like you said, I think like the start is just like watching, like how Josh said, like how a man's supposed to be, how a husband is, how a father is. So yeah. And like the characters like of my dad. Like of course he's not perfect, but he was always a great dad, a great husband. So.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's the wonderful thing about it. You're never looking for perfection, because number one, who are we? We're not perfect. So you're not looking for that. You're looking for someone that you can come together with under God, understanding that in all things we're going to go to Christ. We're not going to always agree on everything. However, we have the Bible, which is the rule book and the foundation.
As I became an adult, I realized like when I was growing up, any disagreements I had with like my dad or with you, like it had nothing to do with what I thought then, but more to do with just my safety and my overall protection.
Exactly. And that's what parents are for. We're here to guide you, protect you, knowing that a lot of things that you might think
are stupid, like, oh, why?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like we know what is out there, what could potentially happen. And no, you don't live in a space of fear. You have to stay in a box. One thing that I do want to highlight, since we are wrapping up Father's Day and just honoring those wonderful fathers, is I want to give a big shout out to you all, how you were just flat out selfless when it came to with your dad being sick. One thing I want to commend you all on is you both took on something and sacrificed your time and learning a new trade. You in particular, Joshua, you taught yourself how to cut hair, so that way you could start cutting your dad's hair once we got home. Talk to us about that decision to do that.
Well, for me, I knew like couldn't take him to the barbershop, so I had to learn sometime. And I needed a haircut too.
Right.
At the time, I didn't have a barber, so I'm like, man, I need to just start cutting. And that's something you don't even think about. You just start doing it. That's the only way you can do anything in this world. Like, you can't think about it. You just got to do it.
You just do. Exactly. And that's something that we do well. We do not allow downtime. We might have a little downtime, but guess what? We're going to get back up and do. That's definitely something that your dad and I believe in and do and taught you all. So that's great. So Antoinette, for you, one thing that your dad has only done with me once, but you and I have went to get our nails done. We got a pedicure, and you then started to give your dad a pedicure. And what is so funny is, out of all, Bonita, I ain't going to get my feet done. That's something you do. He allows you to do that, and that is so sweet. We have a picture that we'll put up as well. For both of you, you cutting your daddy's hair, and then you giving him a pedicure, and then you went out and bought him what?
The little pedicure. What is the little
Spa?
word?
Yeah, little spa. Yeah.
And it's also like bubbles and stuff that you can turn on.
Yeah, yeah. And it just again, it shows how selfless you all are, and of course, I appreciate you for that. So as we wrap up, this will air and be our last for June. We had a wonderful month and look forward to July. So everything we talk about always has that foundation in the Word. So this is one of Antoinette's favorites. So I'll let her read that.
Yes, it's Deuteronomy 6, verse 5 through 7. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength. These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially the one where it says, talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road. Because that was my dad when we walked, giving us life lessons.
Life lesson, sure. Yes, yeah. And that's what, again, those life lessons that are built in Scripture. Even if it's given in plain talk, even you go, oh, this is in the Scripture? Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's always a relation from the world we live in to the Bible. It's all the same.
It's all the same. There's absolutely nothing that we have to deal with, encounter here on earth that isn't in the Scripture, that you can't find. So that's what I appreciate.
So we have Hebrews 12, 7 through 11. Endure hardships as discipline. God is treating you as his children. For what children are not disciplined by their father? If you are not disciplined and everyone undergoes discipline, then you are not legitimate, not true sons and daughters at all. Moreover, we have all had humans, fathers, who discipline us, and we respected them for it. How much more should we submit to the Father of our spirits and live? They discipline us for a little while as they thought best, but God disciplines us for our good in order that we may share his holiness.
That kind of goes back to what you were saying, having those little small disagreements, spats, growing up with your parents. You only come to realize as an adult that it was all for your good. It was for your protection. Oftentimes, having that experience, and especially if you have spiritual parents, us having the discernment of spirits to be able to see what's what and who's what has a lot to do with our decision making. And if you can go out, if you can spend the night, who spends the night at our house, those type of things. So this scripture is good. It's good. All right, so this has been wonderful. Thank you all for sharing your experience as a child, now as young adults, with your dad, your relationship with your dad, him pouring into you all, and now you're pouring back into him. So this has been good. I definitely have enjoyed watching your dad, father, over the 27 years, and he's still is very much, even though he's nonverbal, he is very much vocal in decision making and what we're doing.
Did you guys have a conversation like before? Did you imagine like when you were getting married to him, like the type of father he would be?
No, I really couldn't imagine necessarily what type of father he would be to his own children.
Yeah.
I knew how much he loves like little kids and stuff, and his little cousins, and interacting with maybe kids at the church. Your dad is just one who loves people, so you kind of base it on that. Also, he was always, even though he joked all the time, it was always something comical, always something funny. He was gonna make you into a cartoon character if he was coming out looking crazy. It was some cartoon that he would make you into, but there was still this flip side, no gray area of the seriousness and the weight that he carried as a man of God, a father, a husband first, then a father. So I knew that no matter what, he was going to be serious about it. And again, not perfect, because I'm not trying to come off like we some perfect family, because we're not. I'm just saying he was a good dad. Yeah, he was a good dad. Or he is a good dad, because he's still all up in the business. Y'all gonna be grown. He's still gonna be up in the business.
Standing on business.
All right, holders, thank you so much. Thank you guys for co-hosting with me. I appreciate you, and
It's been good.
it's been good. And we'll see you episode 12 in a couple more days. Bye, holders. If you could only hold on. Joshua,